Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dillon Talk Sports. My name is Dillon. In today's video, if you have not seen already, I do have another video on my channel where I did an NFL team tier list and also an NFL quarterback tier list. And I thought, hey, we're a sports channel, so let's kind of dabble into what we've done. We've done NFL teams, we've done NFL quarterbacks. What other sports do I like? Oh, that's right, basketball. So I thought, hey, NBA season's coming up in about 2 months. Let's do an NBA tier list. So basically, we're gonna rank these. We're gonna do maybe like 5 or 6 tiers, kind of ranking the teams from the best of the best all the way down to fighting for the #1 pick. If you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure to drop a like. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, kicking it off here, you can see all 30 teams are down there at the very bottom of the screen. We do have our 5 tiers. I went ahead and kind of labeled them a little bit funny. We got our title favorites. We got the guys that are competing for the chip. So the title contenders are going to be here. The teams that I can look at and say they need to go for the chip now are going to be up here in the title favorites. The teams that are going to be in the playoffs probably, but they're not going to do much other than that. You have the average teams that are going to be probably not in the playoffs, but they're going to be kind of on the outside. It's going to be your average nobody type teams. Maybe they make the playoffs. Probably not going to, but they're probably going to be. They're going to be a fighter team. And then you have the teams competing for the #1 overall pick. Basically all the really bad teams. So we're kind of going to go one by one, just through every single team. I got the standings right here so I can see what their record was, because I have a very bad memory. 76ers, 54-28. They're going to be, once again, I think they're going to be competing for a chip. I can't put them in title favorites. They'll compete for the chip 100%. I haven't heard if James Harden is officially coming back or not. I heard that he has some beef with Daryl Morey, but that's about all I heard. Let me know if you know anything in the comments. Washington Wizards. I think they're a sneaky team. They can go to the playoffs. I think they can really get in the playoffs. Will they do much more than that? Probably not. But can they get in as like a 7th or 8th seed? There's a good shot. Atlanta Hawks. They'll be in the playoffs, 100%. They're just still missing something when it comes to competing for a chip. They are missing something, and I don't know what it is. If it's maybe like a, not really a scorer, but they're missing like a big body defensive kind of guy that can also dominate when it comes to the offensive paint. They need something like that, I think. My team, being realistic, we're going to put them here. But fuck it, this is my channel. We're competing for the chip this year. With the talent we got, we better be competing for the damn chip. Detroit Pistons. What did they do last year? Oh, they had the worst record in the league. Yikes. They got a shot to be an average team. Yeah, I'll go average. Okay, next up we got the Indiana Pacers. Weren't they like, yeah, 35-47. They didn't do half bad. Once again, they'll be an average team. I'm going to go ahead and say it up front. 2 things. 1, this is my list, so if you got a problem with it, fuck off. Number 2, there's probably not going to be a lot of teams down in like up in the title favorites or in the #1 overall pick. By the end of this, I wouldn't be surprised if I have maybe like 3 or 4 teams in each of these categories and everybody else is just fiddled within these 3 rows. Milwaukee Bucks. I believe they had the best record in the league last year. They will probably be, once again, see, I want to say title favorites, but they got beat last year in the first round. But I'm going to still do title favorites just with the fact that they got beat in the first round last year. Giannis is going to be pissed off about that. They're title favorites 100% to me. Next up, we got Toronto. They seem like they lost some talent. I believe that Fred VanVleet left. Kyle Lowry's been gone for a while. All that's left is Siakam. But I still think just something with that team. They still have a good shot to make the playoffs, I think. Dallas Mavericks. This might be a hot take. Maybe not really, but I think they're going to be competing for a chip. They got a good team with Luka and Kyrie. As long as Kyrie stays focused on basketball and Luka just keeps playing his game, they need some defense. But they got a shot to go try to run after a chip. Next up, Denver Nuggets, defending champions. Obviously, they're going to be title favorites. Memphis Grizzlies, I'm going to say just probably playoff team. Ja needs help. That's the problem. Both mentally, because of what he's been into, and team-wise. He needs help on the court. It just seems like he's the only guy out there that actually cares. Dillon Brooks left. I don't really know how that matters, but he seemed like Dillon Brooks seemed like more like the energy guy when it came to that team. Now that he's gone, the team doesn't really have anything. And now I know they have other guys like Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., great players. But it's like some of these teams that I'm going to be putting here in the playoffs, they're good teams, but they're always just going to be missing something, it seems like. Minnesota Timberwolves, another team, playoffs, 100%. Anthony Edwards, he's like one of these kind of players where it's like he's so damn good, but he's just his personality. It makes me want to hate him so much. That could also be because I watched the movie Hustle on Netflix. Great movie. But he was in it, played kind of like the villain character. And I believe he's like that in real life, is what people tell me. Moving on, San Antonio Spurs. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, Victor Wembanyama, can he carry the Spurs to the playoffs in this first year?" They will be an okay team. Don't get me wrong. But they were 22-60 last year. In order for them to get out of this category, they need to win minimum maybe like 30 games. So I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're still going to be in that lottery pick category, going for that number 1 overall pick. Will they win some games? Yeah, some. But I think this is going to be more of just a year where Wembanyama is going to have to just start figuring out the team. He's going to play good. But there was a reason why they had the number 1 pick last year. Because they sucked. Next up, Utah Jazz. Average team. Didn't they start off the year last year like 13-2 at one point, and then they just tanked out of nowhere? What the fuck happened there? Yeah, they're going to be an average team. Clippers. Every year we say it. I'll put them up there again. They'll be competing for a chip, but somehow they always end up. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard get hurt. The team falls apart, and we don't ever see them after the first round of the playoffs. I don't really know what else to say. Phoenix Suns. With that squad they got in Booker, Durant, Beal, Ayton, they better be title favorites. Do I think they're gonna win the title? I don't know, but we'll see. Portland. Now there's two different kind of teams with this. If Damian Lillard leaves, there. If he stays, there. So this is a hard one. At the moment of recording this, he's still a Portland Trailblazer. But I feel like at some point here in the next few weeks, or maybe sometime in the season, he's going to be gone somewhere else. So I'm going to have to just go off of that and just say I feel like he's going to be gone. So once he leaves, this team's going to just go to the garbage can. So they're going to be competing for a number 1 pick, probably. Next up, we got the Sacramento Kings. I love this team. They're a fun-ass team to watch. If they beat the Warriors last year in that first round in the Game 7, if they would have beaten them there, this team probably could have went even further. They probably could have won a second round matchup with whether it been Denver or LA and maybe went pretty far. Do I put them in to compete for the chip range? I don't know. I think I will. Remember, this is my list. Let me be. I'm going to put him up there. De'Aaron Fox, that dude can score on anybody. Yeah, this is my list. So I'm going to put him in compete for chip. New York Knicks. I hate them. But they're up there. The Knicks are up there. They got a squad. Now, as a Cavs fan, do I hate the Knicks because they beat me last year? You're damn fucking right I do. But am I going to let my emotions take advantage of this pick? No, I'm still putting them right up there in the same category as the Cavs. Now, obviously, I'm not going to put them up in title favorites. Would I like to be putting them down here in playoffs? I kind of would, but they're competing for chip. Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, those guys are scorers. Those guys can make plays. Mitchell Robinson bitched Jared Allen and Evan Mobley the whole entire time in the playoffs. If they keep that squad together, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Next up, we got the New Orleans Pelicans. Where's Zion been? It seems like this team has become Brandon Ingram's team. If Zion Williams was out there with helping him, this team could be pretty damn good. This team could be right here up here in the playoffs or maybe even competing for a chip. But with no Zion, they're just an average squad. Next up, the Charlotte Hornets. I believe Michael Jordan just sold the Hornets. Good investment move by him because that team was going nowhere. We'll see what Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball do together, but they're still going to be just not a good team. Houston Rockets. I think they were last year down here. They've catapulted themselves up into being an average team. They've got a lot of good free agent pieces coming in. They had some good pieces with Jalen Green and some of the other guys, the other rookies already there. They got a decent squad forming up in there. Miami Heat. I'm going to put them up in competing for the chip. They're always going to be competing for a chip with Pat Riley there. They came really close last year, getting to the finals, won a game in the finals, but Denver Nuggets, they were just too much for them. As an 8 seed going the whole way there, that's kind of the thing that kind of holds them back right here. If they were like a 1 or 2 seed and went to the finals and then lost that way, I'd probably put them up here in title favorites because, like, yeah, you were up there in the finals, but you were also a really good team. So it's like, let's see if you can get back. With right here, it's like you were the 8 seed. You got in through the play-in. Did you really deserve to be there? Prove it to me this year. Next up, we got the Chicago Bulls. They're, again, I feel like they're going to be kind of one of these average to playoff. Kind of bounce back and forth is what I'm kind of saying. If I had to make a pick, I'd say they're going to be probably just an average team. This is going to be a tough one to see how they do. I mean, LaMelo Ball, I don't know what's going on with him. Is he done playing basketball? Like, because that knee injury has been just bothering him so much. I mean, since he's been down, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, they've just been handling things. And it seems like those two, they have like a connection going that I wouldn't break up if I was Chicago. Those two you need to keep together. Next up, you got the Brooklyn Nets. They seem like a team that could be a playoff team, but I want to say average, but like I feel like with the talent they have there, there's no excuse for them to not even get into the play-in. Next up, we got OKC, another team that I feel like is going to get into the playoffs as a play-in team. Maybe they get the 8 seed. Maybe they win a couple playoff games. We'll see how they do this year. The Golden State Warriors, as long as Steph Curry's on that squad, they're always going to be title favorites. Get at me in the comments as much as you want. You can't change my mind there. Next up, we get the Boston Celtics, another team I feel like they're kind of like title favorites just because of the fact that with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown being there. I realize Marcus Smart left, but still that duo, if they can just still go out there and put up 30 points each, I feel like the rest of the team will help them. I mean, they had the number 1 seed last year in the East for quite a bit of the season for a reason. And they almost came back from a 3-0 deficit, so give them some credit there. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Lakers. I realized they were in the Western Conference Finals last year, but they got swept. That kind of hurt to watch. As me being a Cleveland fan, LeBron fan, it kind of hurt to watch my boy get swept. Do I put him in title favorites? I don't know if I can. I put him here in the compete for the chip. As long as LeBron's on your team, you're always competing for a chip. But that roster last year, it seemed like whenever they made that trade at the deadline, it was a lot of guys that were on 1-year contracts or guys that were going to be due for contract extensions. Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, I'm confused what's going on with him. Dennis Schroeder, what's going on with all of them? I believe they're all on 1-year contracts. Anthony Davis just signed that giant-ass contract. That's going to take up some money when it comes to the salary cap. Are the Lakers going into the luxury tax? And then last up, we got the Orlando Magic. Once again, other team. Probably just going to be competing for the number 1 pick. It seems like these teams are kind of, yes, they were the teams that were in the matchup for the number 1 pick last year. But I don't see anything changing going this year. If I was going to change anything on this list, like I said, a couple of things I would change. Maybe you could put the Lakers up in here. Maybe move Boston down. Maybe move Miami up. Maybe some of these teams in the playoffs, if you disagree with me, you'd say, yeah, no, these teams need to be up here in the competing for the chip. Maybe there's a team up here in the compete for the chip you want to bring down. There's always different people. There's always different teams in there that I would maybe move around. But at this moment in time, this is how I view the NBA season going. But other than that, that's all I got to discuss for today's video. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy. Like I said, let me know in the comments if there's anything when it comes to that tier that the tiers that you don't agree with. Everybody's going to have a disagreement. There's going to be some teams that you're going to say, maybe it's your favorite team that you're going to say, you put them in the average squad. No, we're making the playoffs this year. Or maybe it's your team that I put just in the compete for a chip tier. And you're like, no, we are winning the title this year. So if you have any disagreements, let me know in the comments. I'd be more than welcome to check it out, talk about it. And if you went on to enjoy today's video, drop a like. Always appreciate it if you do so. Let me know that you're enjoying these types of videos. And if you're enjoying the content that I do post here, or you're just into anything sports related whenever it comes to NBA, basketball, football, NFL, baseball, MLB, anything sports related, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It costs nothing. And if you want to be notified the second I post, hit the notification bell. Other than that, this has been Dillon Talk Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.